I gave my retirement away to my kids. The untold truth behind too much support retirement bankruptcy. Prologue, a story no one asks. Hello. Today, I want to tell you a story slowly, softly. A story we don't hear enough. It begins with a simple sentence. I'm okay. I don't need much. So many parents have whispered this to themselves. And from that whisper everything starts. In the name of love. In the name of duty. Within the walls of family. Some people shrink themselves until they disappear. This is the story of a woman named Soon-Hee Young. But truly, it could be the story of hundreds of thousands. I remember the first day I met her. She lived in a tiny, semi-basement apartment. Outside the window, only the sound of people's feet. Inside, she pulled out an old, yellowed photo album and said, "Back then I could still smile." In the photo, she wore a faded apron, standing in front of her small shop, smiling beside her kids. Chapter 1. My name was lost in my youth. Her name is Soon-Hee Young. She is 73 years old. But the name Soon-Hee disappeared long before she turned 40. At 37, her husband died in a car accident. She was left with 3 children ages 7, 5, and just a baby. Since then, she says, she never lived as herself again. She was known only as mother of 3, that tough woman from the corner store, the strong widow who never gives up, the poetry she once loved, the folk music she sang, the dream of becoming an art teacher. All of it vanished. I didn't really live, she said. I just moved. If I thought too much, I'd cry. So I worked. I looked at my kids and got through the day. Then she added, I don't remember living. I just remember enduring. Chapter 2. As they grew, my dreams shrunk. The kids grew up well, thankfully. Her eldest was quiet and responsible. The second was smart. The youngest was hard work but so dear to her heart. Every morning, she packed 3 lunches. Every night, she sat with homework. She was exhausted, but she smiled because she believed they were her purpose. Until one day, she realized, I don't even remember my own face anymore. She hadn't looked in the mirror in years. Her days were her children's faces. Her time, her name, her feelings buried beneath theirs. She said, my whole self got lost under the weight of being mom. Her voice trembled, like something long buried had finally exhaled. Chapter 3. I gave everything and kept nothing. The children became adults. They started their own lives. The eldest got married and asked for help. Mom, if we don't get this place now, we'll lose it. She dipped into her small retirement savings, gave him 50 million, won nearly everything she had. Before thank you, she heard, let's put the lease under my name, for tax reasons. Then her second child said, I want to study abroad like everyone else. Please just trust me. Again, she didn't hesitate. She gave her severance pay. She sold her small business. She used every last savings account, so her child could study overseas. She didn't stop to think about her own future, her aging, her needs. If they succeed, she thought, they'll take care of me. Chapter 4. I became someone nobody needed. Today, she lives in a small basement unit. Her only income, a government pension about $240 a month. Her eldest stopped sending money years ago. He said he couldn't afford it. Yet he posts vacation photos online. For holidays, she gets a cheap instant food set. Not even a handwritten card. Her second child lives in the U.S. now, married, kids. She only hears from them once every 3 months. Her youngest says, I'll come visit soon, Mom. Just busy with the kids. But soon never comes. And so she said, I've become a name no one calls anymore. The room fell silent. Her words heavier than the air. Chapter 5. Another name. The story of Mr. Kim. 1 week after hearing Soon-Hee Young's story, another person walked into our counseling center with a similar story. This time, it was a father. His name is Young Chul Kim. He's 70 years old, a former government employee. He spent his retirement cultivating a small garden with his wife, living a peaceful life, or so it seemed. But peace didn't last long. He said, his eldest son wanted to start a business. The banks won't lend to me, Dad. I need your help. Mr. Kim gave him more than half of his retirement savings. The business failed within 2 years. Today, his son is out of contact. His second daughter, recently divorced, moved back in with her child. Mr. Kim and his wife now cover her living expenses too. One day I did the math, he said. Everything I've given my children, it adds up to over 430 million won. But now, I have to think twice before swiping my card at the pharmacy. His last words were quiet. I think my retirement ended the day I sent my kids to college. Chapter 6 From the Children's Side. We spoke with Soojin, Soon Hee-young's youngest daughter. She hesitated at first, then said, "I'm so sorry. I had no idea Mom was struggling that much. She never told us she was having a hard time. She always said she was fine. As long as you're okay, that's all that matters," she'd say. Her voice trembled. If she had asked for help, we wouldn't have just stood by. But she carried it all alone. That's when we understood. The problem wasn't love. The problem was silence. Parents didn't speak. Children didn't ask. And between theme retirement vanished. Chapter 7 The Psychology of Oversupport. Drive. Jian Lee, a family psychologist, offered insight. Many Korean parents see their children as an extension of themselves. They believe, if I suffer, at least they won't have to. But this puts emotional pressure on the children and destroys the parents' own self-worth. She continued, "Children are independent beings. They are not born to repay your life's investment." Chapter 8 The Numbers Don't Lie. According to Korean national statistics, 41.2% of parents over 60 went into debt to help their children marry or buy homes. The sharp won cost after retirement? Supporting adult children average 190 million won. 74.6% of retirees feel unprepared for retirement. Only 23% of parents receive regular financial support from their kids. The numbers say it clearly. Many parents were ready to give, but never prepared to receive. Chapter 9 Was I ever the owner of my life? One day, Soon Hee-young asked herself, "Have I ever truly lived for myself?" She paused for a long time, and then, quietly said, "Raising my kids stat was my life. But was it really a life for me? I don't know." These days, she's begun rereading old journals, tiny notes written in the middle of the night, after the kids had fallen asleep. Today, the second child had a fever. I bought medicine, so I had to skip dinner. I felt sick this morning, but had no time for the doctor. Maybe I'll feel better tomorrow. My baby called me Mom for the first time. That made all the pain disappear. Those pages hold the story of someone who once loved the world with everything she had. Chapter 10 A Small Start Toward Change. One day, Soon Hee-young picked up an old habit writing in a notebook. She began with just one line a day. "Today, I bought tofu instead of eggs. The sun came in for about 30 minutes today. That made me happy." These small lines became her anchor. They made the day feel real, made her feel present. I wanted to rediscover myself, not as someone's mom, not as someone's helper, but as just Soon Hee. Chapter 11 3 Steps to Reclaim Your Retirement. 130 minutes just for me, every day. Walking, writing, listening to the radio, tending to plants, not wasting time but reclaiming existence. That time, I don't need to explain it to anyone. To spend my money, my way. Once a month, she gave herself permission to spend freely. A 3,801 coffee in a cafe. A pretty pen from the stationery store. A second-hand poetry book. It felt silly, but it was a way of practicing trust in myself. 3 Learning to say no. She used to say yes to everyone. Now she's practicing. "No, I can't do that right now." Saying no gave me boundaries I didn't know I was allowed to have. Chapter 12 Creating a Space for Healing. Besides volunteering at the library, Soon Hee joined a small gardening group. There were 6 women in their 60s and 70s. They called themselves the Weeds, because we grow back no matter where we're planted. In that group, she spoke about her feelings, her opinions, her tastes, and for the first time in decades, she felt heard. Chapter 13 Redefining the Distance with Her Children. Her youngest, Soojin, once said, "Mom, you can lean on me now." But Soon Hee gently replied, "I've learned that you can only lean once you've found your own footing." Later, Soojin told us, "If Mom is truly happy, we can give back with gratitude, not guilt." Chapter 14 A Financial Advisor's 3-Step Recovery Plan. Han Gyal Lee, a retirement planner, says, "It's okay to start late, but the first step is always to stop unlimited giving." Step 1 Assess your situation. List all your assets, debts, and income. Project future expenses. Confirm pension eligibility and payout dates. Step 2 Set boundaries for supporting kids. Define short-term versus long-term help. Put agreements in writing. Avoid emotional assumptions. Treat it like a contract. Final words. To everyone who's given so much in life, it's time to give some love back to yourself. It's not too late. Soon Hee-young proved it. Young Chul Kim proved it. And maybe, someone watching this right now will prove it too. Like and subscribe, because small actions can can be the start of something big for your life. Thank you, always, for staying with us. I will protect myself. Type that in the comments. That little declaration might protect someone else's future, too.